subscription. Come on, put in that work.
I'm not taking anything for granted. Winning the division is hard to do.
To be able to win the AFC West, get that first goal, are we going to build that momentum into the playoffs and try to make a run at it?
Get the T-shirts and hats, that's a cool thing, but nobody in the locker room is satisfied with that.
And that will take Joe Burrow up and over 500 passing yards.
You couldn't ask for a better situation right now. We control our destiny.
It's one of those tough things that we kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
Josh Allen's done his best Patrick Mahomes impression all afternoon long.
We're where we want to be right now. We got a playoff caliber mindset.
I think we just need to execute better, and there's no excuses.
OBJ, touchdown LA!
We obviously guaranteed ourselves a spot. Love to make that spot as good as we can make it from here on out.
You know, it's sacrilegious as a Giants fan to do this, but the playmaker Michael Irvin not here to troll Stephen A. So it's next man up on this Monday. Merry Christmas, everybody. How about them Cowboys?
Well done.
RC, don't hurt them with this get up right here. In the monochromatic with the hood, I'm with it.
You like the sport coat and hood?
I'm with it.
Ooh, I've been getting a lot of the conversation in the mentions today. Some people hate it. Some people are calling me immature for it.
Listen,
I think it's different.
Listen,
hey, I like it, bro.
People are always going to talk.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
I look better than RC today.
That's probably a lie.
Let's settle down on that one.
How do we start
The
so strong?
Cowboys clinch the NFC. Now I'm going to have to wear this the whole show because I've
Yeah,
had
you
head.
do.
And embarrassed division rival Washington in primetime, 56-14. Dallas clinching the division for the first time in 3 years. The last time Dallas put up that many points, we weren't born yet, guys. Prescott is the first player in NFL history to throw a touchdown pass to a running back, a wide receiver, tight end, O-lineman in a singular regular season game. Dak, what was that slump talk all about?
You tell me. I never said we were in a slump. Those were your words, so I think it'd be hard for you to say that now. But, yeah, tonight was great. Great performance by the offense, great performance by the team. There is no ceiling. And I think, as you said, I mean, it doesn't matter really who we're playing. When we're playing our best ball, we're going to be a tough group to stop on all three phases. And when you see that tonight, just the special teams getting the score, defense getting the score, and offense doing it in the different ways that we did, we're going to be tough. So we got to make sure that we just continue, as I keep saying, trend in the right direction and play our best ball that we have all year long moving forward.
All right. We got a 1 hour show, bowl game after us, a lot to get to. Let's do this. So even Jerry Jones said Dak was in a slump. Dan, are you no longer, Dan Orlovsky, look at me, are you no longer concerned about Dak? Did you see what he did? How many points, those records?
I am no longer concerned about Dak Prescott.
Okay.
I thought that last night was exactly what they needed, was exactly what he needed. I thought the thing that they did the best was get back to their tempo. When this offense was rolling early on in the year, first 6 or 7 weeks, this was an offense that got to the line of scrimmage and was like, we're going to do whatever we want. And we're not going to allow the defense to adjust. We're not going to allow the defense to feel like they can make a type of necessary changes, that they're going to know what's going on. And I think that's what we saw last night was early on, they went no huddle at the line of scrimmage. Dak Prescott played in structure. That's not something that we've seen a consistent basis over the last 6 or 7 weeks. He played out of structure, meaning creating plays, playmaker, on the move, pushing the ball downfield. They got Amari Cooper involved. There was variety in their run game. They ran at people, and they ran around people. Now, listen, Washington's defense was atrocious, both with some of the talent that they had because of the injuries and whatnot, but also their plan I did not think was very good. They didn't get after Dak Prescott at all. But for an offense that had been playing so poorly for 6 or 7 weeks, I understand that Dak may not have said that they were in a slump. He was. Their owner talked about it. Their general manager talked about it. We saw it on tape. But this was a performance that they needed. This was a performance that Dak Prescott needed. I feel much better about the Cowboys offense today than I did yesterday. Marcus Spears said that this was going to be a turning point for their offense. He was accurate in that. It's the first time he's been right all year. Congratulations. But, yeah, I feel way better about Dak Prescott in that offense.
Well, Dan has been really glass half full the entire day, right?
Okay.
Matthew Stafford threw 3 interceptions, and he gave him every excuse in the book. And now we have Dak Prescott, who plays one good game in the last 2 months against a team like the Washington football team who loses Landon Collins, right? Jackson is out. William Jackson is out at the corner. You don't have your full complement of players defensively. And this is a team that played on Tuesday night. And so I'm confused as to how you gave Matthew Stafford all of these excuses for yesterday, but now the Washington football team doesn't get any. And how can we watch Dak Prescott yesterday and compare it to the last 2 months of play and say that we're no longer concerned? I am still concerned because the reason we were talking about Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation was consistency. It wasn't one good week, right? He didn't come out and play well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to start the season and then fade off. We saw the same thing against the Los Angeles Chargers. We saw the same thing against the New England Patriots. He was beating very good football teams with very good players. We didn't see that last night. Was the Dallas Cowboys offense different? Absolutely. CeeDee Lamb, huge catches. We saw the run game with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, kind of that flash and dash where we have the physicality and now we have the big playability. Yeah. But just yesterday is not going to make me think, oh, the Dallas Cowboys are back. I have to see it consistently like we see it with the Green Bay Packers, consistently like we see it with now the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills. I need to see that type of play from Dak Prescott, not just 1 week, but consecutive weeks.
Well, the reality is it's the same week in the NFL as it is that it took me years to graduate from school, week 16. Okay, so I'm not going to have the ability to consistently see this offense. They got 2 more games, one against the Cardinals and one against Philadelphia. So I got to at least give them their due that they have been struggling. This is the same team, and Dak is the same quarterback that 2 weeks ago against a very similar defense. I know there's some different parts. Played awful and gave this football team.
And as a whole,
so I got to give him some credit for playing good football.
Right. As a whole, though, the team wasn't as good, right? The Dallas Cowboys, they didn't run the football well. Offensively, they didn't create plays, right? People weren't getting open. Kellen Moore didn't kind of diagram, strategize, and call the plays that he did yesterday. It was a different game for everybody. I'm just saying this. I'm not asking, or Molly didn't ask us, do we believe that this was a good game for the Cowboys? It says, are you no longer concerned? I'm still concerned because this week doesn't wipe out the last 2 months for us.
That's fair because of the competition.
My concern is less. Okay. I gotta be fair. The Matthew Stafford's interceptions have nothing to do with this conversation, by the way. Okay.
I was just so disgusted with you.
I'm concerned less. We'll see if Dak Prescott.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there to some of your loyalties and biases, and if they're fair.
Let's just see if Dak Prescott can go have the type of performance that Carson Wentz did against the Cardinals this weekend.
Wait. Jonathan Taylor's Colts, you mean?
You mean the game-winning touchdown pass?
Oh, okay. We're going to get to that. The NFC has not had a repeat division champ in 17 seasons. We'll get there. Don't worry. I want to stay in this game for a hot second, guys, and go to the sideline. Former Alabama teammates caught on camera for the wrong reason. We had a little scuffle there between Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. Listen, I get it. They were frustrated. Dallas was owning them. Both players downplayed it after the game. But is this a big deal, RC?
No, it's not. It's not necessarily a big deal, right? I don't look at this to say that these two guys should be admonished for what they did, but you got to be better than this, right? When you're getting your butts whipped or your butts handed to you the way that the Washington football team is, don't be fighting each other. Go fight on the field, right?
Yeah.
If you want to mush somebody, right? You want to put your finger in somebody's face, go put your face mask on somebody. And to me, that's the issue. Like, dudes argue and dudes fight and dudes have like these kind of confrontations, right? Like Rex was laughing about the fact that his pops punched the OC when he was coaching for the Houston Oilers. So these things happen. Right. But my problem is they can't happen when the game looks the way it looks, when you refuse to go out and fight. And then when you're a guy like Payne who sits on the sideline and pouts the rest of the first half because you're so focused on the fact that you got stole on for something you did to a captain, to a Pro Bowler. And so to me, it's more so about, can we focus on what's going on the field rather than focusing on each other and what we're saying?
I think this is just a reality that this is a moment of reality. This happens in any competitive level of sports. This is also a moment I played quarterback, or a reason why I played quarterback, because you ain't never going to see me fight a person that big, okay?
Ain't no winning that,
no,
man.
No. You want to put your finger in my face. As long as you're not that big, I'm going to have an issue with it. But you're as big as Jonathan Allen or Payne, I'm going to let you do it, okay?
Fair enough. I'm not.
We know.
That's why you play defense.
I'm just going. I'm gonna
That's
take
why I
that.
play quarterback.
We know no one can touch a quarterback anymore
I'm
anyway.
gonna take an L though.
I never forget. I played quarterback as a kid. I started playing football. I was like 9. Quarterback and cornerback. I was an athlete.
Were you?
No. And I'll never forget first day of freshman football in full pads. Full pads. We're playing open field tackling. You know the drill. And I went to go make a tackle, and I ducked my head, and the dude made me look like a fool.
Yeah.
Right.
My coach stood over me, and he said, well, that will be the last day you ever play defense. So
Good for you.
I couldn't tackle, and that's also why I would never be able to play defense, because the big people do it differently.
True story. It's a strength when we know our weaknesses. Speaking of weaknesses, let's get to the black and yellow. Ryan,
Boom.
they also got punched, RC.
Wow.
The Chiefs, Cruz, wrote
What a
that for you.
sequence.
Past the Steelers, 36-10. Now winners of 8 straight. They're holding down the top spot in the AFC after clinching their 6th straight AFC West title on Sunday. Congrats to them staying out west. The Chargers are on the outside looking in after dropping their game against the Texans. Ryan Clark, Super Bowl champion with the Steelers. Was KC's blowout more about Pittsburgh or Kansas City? Real talk.
It was about both teams.
No.
You're not going to do that. This is first take. That's weak sauce.
Thank you.
Pick.
I don't care if it's second take. Like, that's my answer.
Well, it's second take for you because you didn't get up for 2 hours. You need to pick.
No, I don't have to pick, and here's why. I don't have to pick.
I set the rules, but carry on.
Yeah, I don't have to pick, and here's why. Let me tell you why. First off, we can get to the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? We've seen this from this team, right? We've seen this team not be able to stop the run. We've seen this team defensively struggle, and we saw that yesterday. We obviously know what's going on with this team offensively, but to just say this is about the Pittsburgh Steelers being bad would be wrong, right? It would make me derelict in my job, right? In my job as an analyst, to not acknowledge what the Kansas City Chiefs have done, to not acknowledge that this defense played so well for so long that they've now allowed Patrick Mahomes to become Patrick Mahomes again, that this defense kept this team in the playoff hunt so long that they now have the #1 seed. And now we see Patrick Mahomes building on what happened in the 4th quarter against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I can be honest, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not good. But we knew that coming into this week.
Correct.
Did we expect this to happen? No, but we've seen this team be dominated before this season. This ain't new, y'all. We have seen this before. But what is new is the Kansas City Chiefs playing this well offensively without Travis Kelce. What is new is this defense continuing to dominate teams that are of lesser talent than they are. What is new is that now, even after last week with me saying I can understand why the bettors make Kansas City the favorite, now I agree with the bettors. And so, yes, I want to get on here and be pissed off with the Steelers, but I'm used to it. If someone keeps letting you down, eventually at some point, you got to stop being disappointed, right? Like MJ said on the new Spider-Man, if you expect disappointment, you won't be disappointed.
I haven't seen it yet. You just ruined it.
It was one quote.
You just ruined the movie.
Fine.
If this game says anything to you about the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's on you. If you thought the Steelers were going to be good this year, that's on you. We've been trying to tell you that the Steelers were an average to below average football team all season. Mike Tomlin has done an incredible job of coaching this year to have them even into the conversation through Christmas. This game is everything about the Kansas City Chiefs. Number one.
So that's a better answer, Molly, than my answer?
Yes. It's definitive and it's not cowardly.
Yeah.
And you also didn't
you waffled out the gate.
And I also didn't use words that people at home don't know. You said dialect?
No. RC's got a good vocabulary. Respect it.
But I don't even know what it
means. We went to UConn. Yeah, it's different.
Look how long it took you to graduate.
Anyway, Patrick Mahomes looks like I hate you. Patrick Mahomes looks like Patrick Mahomes. That's my takeaway. Or at least the Patrick Mahomes that won. We've seen over the past 3 years, and 2, the guy that we were begging to play in September and October. The guy that when he plays in rhythm and then he trusts his eyes and he's reactive and he doesn't force things. And when the plays are there, he makes big plays. And when the play isn't there, he plays in a rhythmic and a pace type of focus. That's the quarterback that we wanted to see for such a long period of time this year. And the fact that the Chiefs are the 1 seed, the fact that their defense is playing so good, the fact that a guy like Travis Kelce doesn't play, but Byron Pringle steps up and goes, wait, maybe he can be a missing piece, or the guy that Mecole Hardman in many ways was supposed to be at the wide receiver spot. Frank Gore's son stepping in and playing good football. This game tells me that the Chiefs are the team to beat in the NFL. They've earned that through the lows this year and the valleys this year. The Chiefs have emerged as the team to beat in the NFL. We thought the Chiefs in August were the team to beat in the AFC. I actually think this version of the Kansas City Chiefs might be better than I expected because of that defense. Because of the way that their front is playing and the way their coverage unit is playing. I thought their defense would be good. I didn't think their defense could be great. And right now, their defense is great.
Talk about a 180, and we'll dive into the playoff pictures in just a bit. The Steelers have not scored a touchdown in the first half in 5 straight. Slow start, certainly a problem as well. Gentlemen, plenty more to get to. Just an hour today, still ahead on First Take. Dan's been telling us for months that Joe Burrow is special. Wait till you hear what he's declaring after Joe's career day, and I'm sure the former LSU Tiger, RC, not mad either. A guy who's had more than a few career days, Tom Brady. He and the Bucs went bananas, passing for 525 yards in a 41-21 win. He was 37 for 46 with 4 TDs, no INTs. The yardage, a franchise record, and the 4th highest in NFL history. You know what's a theme on First Take? We all like to be right. Dan Orlovsky talking that talk and Joe Burrow walking that walk. Let me show you what I mean.
I think Joe Burrow is one of the 5 best players at that position in the NFL right now. Now, some people might say he's thrown too many interceptions. I would say watch the tape. Not all the interceptions are upon him. I think 4 of those interceptions aren't bad decisions nor bad throws. They're just bad breaks. His connection with Jamar Chase is absolutely fantastic, and I think he's going to continue to elevate his play starting this weekend.
I like sweater Dan. RC, so Dan says
Sweater
yes.
Dan, hoodie Dan, Monday Dan.
Yeah, so much range. Can't even take it. RC, is Burrow a top 5 quarterback right now?
No, not yet. But he's on his way. I think Joe Burrow and me and Dan kind of both agree with this. Of the young quarterbacks, of the guys in his class or lower, I think he's the guy you start a team with. And a lot of that is about the intangibles. A lot of that is about what we saw yesterday where a guy like Wink Martindale challenges Joe Burrow and says something about him. And he has kind of that killer in him that says, okay, I'm going to show you, right? And he spreads the football around. He plays tough in the pocket, and he does those things. But it's hard to say that Joe Burrow is better than Lamar Jackson right now, a guy who's already won an MVP. It's hard to say that he's better than a Josh Allen. It's hard to say that he's, better than a Patrick Mahomes. And so, Justin Herbert is going to kind of be a conversation about, is he better than him? You got Kyler Murray. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Tom Brady. And so I think when you start saying some of these names, it's hard to say Joe Burrow is right now in the top 5, that you take him over Russell Wilson, even with the down year. But what I can say about Joe Burrow is I believe he's a future MVP. I believe Joe Burrow will win a championship in Cincinnati, something that they have not done. And I also believe that Joe Burrow is the building block to making this franchise relevant for the next decade plus. Do I put him in the top 5? No. But that doesn't mean I have a negative to say about Joe Burrow. But it does mean I've watched other guys prove more over more time than Joe Burrow has now. I'm not just going to jump him in the top 5 like it's so easy to be
Dan, before you jump in, Herbert, Allen, Wilson, all guys you didn't have in your top 5 when you did your list last week.
Yeah, the only person that I think, like I said last week, first of all, Joe Burrow's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely. There is not a single quarterback under the age of 25 that I would take over Joe Burrow. I think he's that special of a player. The quarterback that I would put into the conversation for that 5 spot is probably Josh Allen. Yes, I said Justin Herbert last week is like a 5.5 type of player. Josh Allen is a guy that deserves to be into that conversation.
Bro, you're definitely not going to be able to go back to Buffalo, bro. Like, wasn't there a time?
I rock with Buffalo.
Wasn't there a time where people in Buffalo were sending you like capes and blankets and tables to jump on NFL Live?
Absolutely.
Oh, they're going to take all that stuff.
No. My job is to be in the moment.
But you moved Allen up after what he did in Foxborough.
Yeah, Josh Allen was the best player in the NFL yesterday. I feel confident in saying that. Josh Allen was the best player on the football field, and he's the reason why the Buffalo Bills won that game. But I can't just look at what Joe Burrow's got a chance to lead the Cincinnati Bengals to 11 wins. Okay? He threw for 525 yards in an NFL game easily. Like, it was an easy 525, too.
I mean, he was playing against JV secondary, but it's still 525.
Yeah.
Easy 525. I think the skill group for Cincinnati, I said this today, the skill group for Cincinnati, those 4 guys, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, you said Uzama. So T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon. I would take that 4 group of skill players over anybody in the AFC. Wow. Over anybody. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are amazing. Those
do
are
not
2.
argue that at
okay?
all. I agree.
The scariest set of weapons.
Yes, in the AFC. And I think that's why they can go beat anybody in the playoffs. To say I'm not putting him over Kyler Murray, that's not even a conversation for me. To say that I'm not putting him over Russell Wilson right now, That's not a conversation. And I honestly feel this way. If 31 other teams had the decision right now to choose Joe Burrow or Kyler Murray, they would choose Joe Burrow. If they had to choose Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson, they would choose Joe Burrow. Right now, with the way Russell Wilson has played over the last two seasons.
Well, first of all, it's not the last 2 seasons, right? Early on last season, we was letting Russ cook, and Russ was in the MVP conversation, right? That dipped off toward the end of the season. There is no way to me to see what some of these dudes have done for the totality of their career and just put Joe Burrow there. Now, I think Joe Burrow is good. You know, I'm a Tiger, right? So I love him, but we just have to be consistent in the way that we evaluate these quarterbacks and the things that we hold as impressive or the things that we hold as true as to making a quarterback great. Joe Burrow hasn't done some of those things yet. Not saying he can't.
Where he has gotten to Cincinnati with the chance to win that division when not many people thought they would. I'll ask you this.
There's no way. There's no way you can put Joe Burrow over Josh Allen right now. There's absolutely no way on God's green earth you can do that.
I did. I only get 5, and I would take Joe Burrow. Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
And I love Josh.
But you wouldn't, though, Daniel.
I did last Thursday.
Daniel, you would not.
I would. Let me ask you this. Okay, out of the teams that we think are AFC football teams, teams and teams that are going to be in the AFC playoffs, right? Patrick, would you take him over Patrick?
No.
Would you take him over Josh Allen?
No.
So would you take him over Carson Wentz?
Yes.
Would you take him over Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
Would you take him over Lamar Jackson?
No. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't take him over?
You just sat here all year talking about Lamar Jackson was carrying the squad.
Right.
He don't have none of them players.
Gotta roll,
I'm
fellas.
sorry.
It's all good. The Bengals haven't won a playoff game in 30 years. Longest drought in the NFL. He can change it. The NFC playoff picture's starting to look more and more clear, but which team needs that 1 seed the most for a Super Bowl run? The fellas not seeing eye to eye again. What else is new? In the AFC, it looks like it's the Chiefs versus everybody. So which AFC contender is a real threat to KC? This answer will appear where 3 of the 4 divisions have been clinched. The Rams can join that group with a win over the Browns and a Cardinals loss to the Cowboys in Week 17. There are currently 4 teams within 1 game of the 1 seed in the NFC. Dan, we got to sprint to the finish here. Only 2 weeks remaining in the regular season. Who in the NFC needs the 1 seed the most to reach the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's the Green Bay Packers. Number 1, because of injury, because they need Aaron Rodgers to have his toe as healthy as possible. We saw him this past weekend, I thought, limping more visibly than he has ever since this injury became a thing. I also think the ability to get guys healthy, David Bakhtiari coming back and getting him reps and healthy, Jair Alexander coming back, Zadarius Smith's coming back. So the injuries of their football team kind of like allowing those guys the most amount of time to get healthy and get back to playing football. But I also think we started to see this defense that we were raving about for such a long time start to become a little bit of a weakness for this football team, specifically how they stop the run in their nickel defense, meaning 5 defensive backs on the field. I think them playing at home is going to minimize the greatest weakness of their football team. I think them playing at home, no one knows how to throw a football in Lambeau Field in January better than Aaron Rodgers. And that matters. The way the wind blows, the feel of the football, how to handle the different quarters and the direction of the wind. No one knows how to handle that better than Aaron Rodgers. And for their offense to play as good as they can, or as good as they're going to need to somewhat minimize the weakness of their defense, I think the best opportunity has that being at home. No one has I don't think anybody.
They did have the 1 seed last year, though, right? And weren't the Bucs the wild card, and they went in and beat them, and then went on to win the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, but that Bucs team is a different team than we know this year, because right now the Bucs are a giant question mark.
Right.
What's the health going to be of Leonard Fournette? What's the health going to be of Mike Evans? What the health is going to be of Shaq Barrett?
Right. I mean, it's obvious. People don't want to go to Lambeau in January. Like, nobody wants to play there. But to me, it's the Dallas Cowboys. One, because when you look at how the Dallas Cowboys play offense at home, the way that they score points at home is different. And very much to what Dan said about being in Green Bay, minimizing the negative of the defense, I think it only accentuates the positive of the big-time playmakers on defense in Dallas if you're playing at home. If Michael Parsons is making plays, if DeMarcus Lawrence is making plays, Randy Gregory, Trayvon Diggs, and now you have a controlled environment for Dak Prescott and all of these skill players. I don't want to see the Dallas Cowboys in Lambeau in the playoffs. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys want to be there either. But if you can get this game at home, if you can have Dak Prescott be comfortable, if you can be in the confines of the perfect situations, right, the perfect conditions, I believe the Dallas Cowboys are hard to beat. This is a team that's averaging 38 points a game at the crib, right? Also, we look at the other side of it. This is a defense that is now making huge play after play because their stars are excelling. Now, you put that in your home stadium, you get the crowd behind you, you get a team that is now confident. I believe the Dallas Cowboys with home field advantage are a team that nobody wants to play.
No, I think that your point of the Dallas Cowboys offense, because when we talked about this at the start of the show, when they play with their tempo and at the line of scrimmage, they are a different offense. That's much easier to do at home than it is on the road. And I think your point to the defense is fair. The only thing that I would say is I think that Green Bay needs that time because Dallas isn't dealing with injuries the way that Green Bay is dealing with.
So your biggest thing is being able to get the break as well.
Absolutely. I think that break with only one with Rodgers. I mean, we're talking about their 4 best players having, again, not only the ability to have the time away for healing, but also getting those. You know what it's like to be out of football for a long period of time. Zadarius, Bakhtiari, and Jair have been out of football for a long time. Just those guys having the ability to get back into practice and reps and feel. Because when you get into the playoffs, you know, like it's win or go home. And so I think that's the biggest thing for Green Bay is for them to get all their guys back healthy and just as recent into the flow of football as possible. I think your points in Dallas are fair. I think Green Bay needs it for their guys more than anything.
I want to get back to the Bucs really quick. Ryan, outside of Tom Brady, who's the most important player for them to show up and make a run with all these injuries?
Antonio Brown. I would have said Rob Gronkowski at some points of this season, but when you go back to last year's playoff run, Antonio Brown was huge. I think back to the big plays he made against Washington, obviously the touchdown against Kansas City and the huge catches in the Super Bowl. But then we look at early on this season, and there were many times that Antonio Brown seemed like the #1 receiver on this team. There's some sort of comfort that Tom Brady has with Antonio Brown that is uncanny. There's a chemistry that these guys have shared since his one game with the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins a couple of years ago. And now you watch him. Soon as he gets back into the fold, he's his #1 guy. He's his go-to guy. Obviously, Mike Evans isn't there. Chris Godwin isn't there. But there are so many easy completions between these two. And when I see that, it makes me... And you watch Tom Brady engage with Antonio Brown, there's a relationship there. There's a relationship that I think Tom Brady values, but I know for sure Antonio Brown values. There's almost this thing like, I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do the things you need for me to do, Tom, in order for us, in order for you, in order for me to succeed. And I think when we think about this going down the stretch with the banged up Leonard Fournette, a banged-up Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. The one guy with the position flexibility from that wide receiver crew is Antonio Brown.
And he can redeem himself, too, for what he did with the team.
Yeah, that's fair. It's Rob Gronkowski, though. Like, here's the thing. I could sit here today. If Antonio Brown was not on this football team and they were in their current state right now with all of their injuries, I would still say this team can win the Super Bowl. If they were in their current state and Rob Gronkowski was Chris Godwin, that he was out with injury, I would say this team can't win the Super Bowl. I think he's that important because Antonio Brown, while his impact is big, he's not going to impact the run game that much. Like Rob Gronkowski, and you said this. You said he was the most impactful and important tight end
I think so.
in all of football. If that statement is still accurate to you and still true, then there's no question he's the most important person on this football team. I think they can win a Super Bowl without Antonio Brown. Now, is their road going to be easier because of some of the injuries that they've suffered and him being healthy? 100%. Right. But if they lose Rob, I would even say this. If Rob Gronkowski gets banged up, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl. I think they need, because of the injuries that they have suffered.
Yeah, for sure.
They need Gronk, and they need Gronk to be healthy. I still believe if Antonio Brown wasn't on this football team and Mike Evans came back healthy and Leonard Fournette came back healthy and Gronk was there, this offense is good enough with Tom Brady to win a Super Bowl. Without Gronk, I don't think they are.
If you were betting right now, yesterday, we got to go to break, you would say Green Bay in the Super Bowl?
Ooh, out of the NFC?
NFC is such a fight.
Green Bay.
I think Green Bay's the best team. I wouldn't bet money on it.
I think Green Bay's got flaws. Tampa's got flaws. Dallas got flaws. Los Angeles got flaws.
We
got to keep it going. Dan, are you about to do your I'm right dance? He's right at the top of the MVP conversation.
I like this Monday.
NFC starting to get clearer. The Bills took down the Patriots, grabbed first place in the AFC East, at least for this week, after a big day from Josh Allen that included 314 passing passing yards and 3 TDs in Foxborough. Meanwhile, Carson Wentz and the Colts got it done Saturday against the Cards, perhaps one of Wentz's best performances for the Horseshoe. He threw for 225 and 2 TDs to hand the Cards their 3rd straight loss. Of course, everyone is chasing the Chiefs, who completely blew out RC Steelers yesterday and now won.
Dang.
I'm a Giants fan.
Dang.
I mean, it doesn't get more pathetic
But every
than
time
me.
the Giants play, I'm not like they just completely blew out Molly's Giants.
Because they're so irrelevant, we don't even talk about
like
them.
6 years
I'm saying,
straight,
like,
though.
nobody's came here and said, well, Molly's Giants answered a question that nobody asked and said that Timmy Toughnuts and
you just did it now.
Daniel Jones
You just did it now.
Did you see
and
that?
apparently the Giants are sticking with Daniel Jones, and I have an issue with that, but that's not a subject in today's show.
They also benched a quarterback, started another guy, and then benched him for the guy that they benched him for in a matter of like 35
Guess
minutes.
what?
A lot of benching.
2 words. Hot mess. Dan, who's the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Because we just heard you in the last segment. You're real high on them as the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are, and I think the team that is best suited to knock them off is the Indianapolis Colts, and I have felt that way for a while now. I think because of the style of football that they play, number one, their offensive line is fantastic. I think they are, right now, the best offensive line in football. I think that their variety of run game is awesome. I think they have a tailback that can get you the dirty yards, the 2 or 3 yards that aren't there. And then they have a tailback that can go 80. I don't know if there's a team in the NFL that has the combo in one guy that the Colts have in Jonathan Taylor, who I still believe is the MVP of the NFL. I think that their quarterback had a moment this past weekend. That's just me being honest. I think their listen, the game-sealing touchdown pass to Michael Pittman, I'll be honest with you guys. If that was Aaron, Patrick, Josh, it would be all over every sports network, certainly ours. It's not getting talked about. I don't know if it was because of Saturday or it was because of Carson Wentz. This one, that is one of the 5 best throws I've seen Carson Wentz make. I've seen him take every single snap of his professional career. It's the best throw I've seen him make since the one to Miles Sanders against the Washington football team. And that's his moment that he hasn't had really since 2017. Like, he had some of those in 2019, but not against a competition like the Cardinals in a moment like primetime football and the whole nation watching. So because he had that moment and their style of run game, I think that they're capable of going at this Kansas City Chiefs defense. Michael Pittman winning those one-on-one balls. And then their defense is a defense that does not give you the ball over the top. Like, you got to go earn everything. Darius Leonard should be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Buckner's fantastic. Okay. Their style of ball, I just think they're built.
Okay, we threw the parade. It was good. I get the colors now.
Here's why I love Dan Orlovsky. One, he's great on TV, extremely intelligent when it comes to football. He's the most loyal person I've ever seen. If Dan rides with you, he will ride with you forever. Like, Dan is the type of dude you rob a bank with. Because no matter what, no matter how many years they say, Dan, if you just do this by yourself, you're gonna get 30 years. Dan say, oh, by myself. Dan will go to jail for his friends. Because clearly, was the Carson Wentz play good? Absolutely. Would it be on every network? Would we talk about it constantly if it was one of those other guys? Probably so, because we see it from them all the time, and we just love it. It was a huge moment. But don't act like you didn't watch the Buffalo Bills since the second half against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't act like you haven't seen Josh Allen, who throughout the year hasn't been playing at an MVP level, but right now is. You're not going to be comfortable walking into Kansas City, right, and Carson Wentz is your quarterback. But the Buffalo Bills, when they show up in Kansas City, right, Sean McDermott, when he gets to Kansas City and he looks down and he sees that dude, number 17, he going to be like, oh, I got me one. I got somebody that can go out here and compete with 15. I got somebody that can go out here and make plays against this defense. Do I think the Colts are good? Is it a team I'd want to play? Absolutely not. But to say right now you take them over the Buffalo Bills, I'm not sure what happened to you. Did you get bad buffalo wings? I mean, what is going on with you that you won't put Josh Allen in the top 5?
You must have picked the Patriots.
And now
now
you're totally skipping over what we've seen from Josh Allen and this team the last few weeks.
You know who you like right now? You're like my beautiful wife right now. So
me and Tiff? You definitely can't say nothing bad about me.
Nah, I'm disappointed in you. Like like she was disappointed on me on Christmas morning because this is what happened.
Why? Did you get no gifts?
No, I got.
Don't tell me.
No.
That's the worst.
I
Don't
thought
be
I
the
got
guy
her a
that
great
doesn't
gift.
get your wife.
And she was disappointed?
This is the
What'd
true
you get her,
story,
like a
America.
vacuum? That's
Nah,
the worst
Maz,
when guys buy you a practical gift.
No, I bought her a
I don't
bag. I bought her a bag, but this is the exact thing that happened. She was disappointed in me because she unwrapped the wrapping and saw the box.
Okay.
And it was a 3-letter box, and she was like, I saw the excitement on her face, and then she opened the box and saw the bag, and she was like, nice, cool. Complete disappointment in the bag that I chose.
Oh, because it was a different brand.
No,
the box
it was the
is
same brand. She just didn't like the bag.
You should have gotten like a Neverfull. They love those.
What's that?
That's like the big joints that you could get.
Bro, she got one of those. We got triplets. She was so disappointed in my selection. Like, I'm disappointed in you right now. Because we've done television for like 2 or 3 years together.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're talking about the playoffs, and it's just like, oh, it's a quarterback. Like, the Bills have a better chance strictly because they're quarterback.
No, not
That's
strictly
what you
because,
said.
Not strictly because of their quarterback.
You literally
But you have to have that guy to beat Patrick Mahomes in that moment.
Why?
When we go to Patrick Mahomes losing, he lost to Tom Brady and Tom Brady. That's who's beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He ain't lost to no running backs. And
so he didn't lose to a Buccaneers defense that hounded him last year.
The Buccaneers defense did hound him. The Buffalo Bills can do some of the same things up front. We've seen that this year. When they have Edmonds in the middle of the field, he's not as good as Leonard, but he's a guy that can go sideline to sideline there.
The quarterback doesn't matter and you're the quarterback? Get out of here.
Play of the Buffalo Bills is not just good, it is Pro Bowl level. It is all pro level. It is elite. It's the reason that Jordan Poyer's wife is tweeting upset that he didn't make it to the Pro Bowl again. Because they are ballers. And Josh Allen is a monster. Now, they've gotten to the run game, right? Not only is Josh Allen running the ball, but they're giving the football to Singletary. They're giving the football to Moss. Dayball is falling in love with understanding the process.
Go.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're the winner just based on the conviction in that argument. That was excellent. I was going to give you the last word, but you're taking too long.
Only friend conviction.
Dropping your jaw. Tonight on ESPN, it's Monday Night Football. Saints and Fins. Will Alvin Kamara run wild on this respectable Miami defense? Listen, I know your wallet took a hit after the holidays, so let me try to fill it up with a quick Monday Night Football edition of Molly's Deal. Let's get it. Dan, we start with you. Will Alvin Kamara score a touchdown in this one?
Yeah, absolutely, because he's their only and best option. I know Miami's defense has been playing better, but with both quarterbacks out and Ian Book having to start tonight, Sean Payton's going to do everything he can to make sure 41 gets a plethora of touches. This is still good offensive line for the New Orleans Saints, but they're going to use him both handing the ball off and throwing to him as much as possible.
RC, will Devontae Parker accumulate more than 60 receiving yards tonight?
You know, I believe he is. Tua Tagovailoa has been playing really good football. Obviously, the Saints are good defensively, but they're a team that stops the run, and so Devontae Parker is going to have to be huge on the outside for the Miami Dolphins. I think he makes enough plays to get you 60 yards.
He's done so in the last 4. Dan, we end on you. Cameron Jordan, will he have a sack? He's had 6 in 13 games this season.
You watch the Dolphins' offensive line play?
Not
I
good.
could have a sack tonight. You could have a sack tonight.
I could not.
Well, I couldn't, but yeah.
No, you might be able to get you one. Yeah,
No,
this
I'm
Dolphins
slow.
now
Very
Tua does
slow.
a remarkable job of getting the football out, but this Dolphins offensive line is not a great one, and Tua's going to have to hold the football a little bit to win the game.
That's Molly's Deal. Good luck. Belichick not feeling so lucky yesterday after a tough loss in Foxborough to a division rival. Belichick was asked, what?
Football aside, sorry, but I'm doing a story about New Year's resolutions, and I was just wondering if you had any you wanted to share with your fans and our readers.
Yeah, no, not right now.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe next week.
She was.
Pause, though.
Here's the thing, though.
I was hanging on to every word.
But you could tell she didn't want to ask the question. She was just trying to do her job, and she's like, for the fans and the
I'm working
readers?
on a piece. Could you
I don't know. I felt like she was
excited
to ask the question that she was going to get an actual answer.
There's no way she thought she'd get an
anybody that covers New England knows they would never get an answer.
Especially not after a loss.
So you think she asked the question strictly to hopefully get that type of response?
No, I know. I think she asked the question in hopes that he would answer it, but you could tell she wasn't convicted about asking that question. That was part of doing her job.
She did her job. She didn't want to get fined beast mode style. By the way, we got like 60 seconds left. Are you concerned about the Patriots?
I think that the issues that have cropped up over the last 2 or 3 weeks in the fact that they have to play to their style and dictate in the game are very real. Could it hurt them? Yes. Concerned? No, but that's the way that they can get beat.
Yeah, I think my concern is, and I've said this, I believe they have a very low margin for error.
Correct.
Right? And so when you watch this team and teams get up on them and they have to play a different style, as Dan mentioned, it seems difficult for them to have success.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have the ability to erase things that happen. Hey, drops and penalties, they don't have enough like big playmaking to overcome it.
Do you remember my Christmas wish? What I wanted in the Super Bowl? It was Pats Bucks. I'm feeling very concerned about that. I'm not so sure that's happening anymore.
Long season left.
Yeah.
Long season left.
And it's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick. You always have a shot.
We just had a whole conversation about the AFC.
Molly,
no one mentioned the Patriots at all.
They're still in the, because it's the Chiefs and basically everybody else.
Quick Lane Bowl starts now. Western Michigan, Nevada. Good luck. Enjoy it.